Van Deeb, a dynamic leader with decades of experience building companies and crushing sales. He's been there and done that.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello. My name is Van Deeb.
Inspiring audiences across the country to do it too. Here's Van.
Welcome to the Van Deeb Podcast. I'm Van Deeb, and I have a special guest today, Downtown Lacey Brown. Hello, Downtown.
Hi, Van. How are you?
I'm so glad you're here. So, Downtown Lacey Brown owns a insurance and financial agency, and I've known her for quite a while. We're going to discuss some business. You know, the Van Deeb Podcast is all about helping you get better at what you do, and hopefully you'll find antidotes in this podcast that you can apply and implement to your own business. I'm all about helping others succeed, and that's what the foundation of the Van Deeb Podcast is. But before we get started, I want each of you right now to subscribe, because I want you to receive these podcasts in your inbox so you don't forget that they're there, because they're going to motivate you, they're going to inspire you, and they're going to empower you to be the best version of yourself. So make sure to subscribe, and I'll probably bring it up again while we're here. Lacey.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you're here today.
I'm glad to be here.
You know, you're one of these people that I've admired, I've watched, you're big into social media. But one of the biggest reasons I love following you and visiting with you is you're passionate. And, you know, when somebody's passionate about their careers, it's contagious. People gravitate to people that are passionate. And, you know, you meet people, you ask them what they do for a living, and they just don't sound excited about what they do. Well, I don't want to do business with somebody that's not excited about what they do. And that's a lot of people today.
Yes, sir.
But when you talk about your insurance services and financial services, it's obvious you're really passionate. So tell us about what makes you so passionate.
So I feel like I have the best job in the world. I get to help people protect their current assets and their future assets with the financial service part of what we do in our business. And there are too many people that don't have that service available to them, or, you know, you get advisors that only want to work with big clients. And we work with everybody. We work with the lowest economic level to the highest. And
you treat everybody the same.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's an absolute blast, and it's so much fun to be able to do that. And I have an amazing team around me that also has that same passion, and they are extremely detail oriented and very, very educated and good at what they do.
Every time I've talked to you, you always recognize your team, about how great your team is. And you know, people like you and I don't get to where we are without having great people in our camp.
Amen.
And it's so important, you know, and I love to reference Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn and some of my other favorite motivational speakers and authors when they said years ago, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
100%.
And I find that to be so true. And I made that decision in my 20s that I only wanted to be around people that I admire, that will inspire me or motivate me. Now, that has nothing to do with financial class. I don't care if the people in my 5 are flat broke. You want to be around good humans that make you want to be a better human.
Yep, absolutely.
But in 100%. Business, we want to surround ourselves around people that are really doing great things.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. So how long have you been in this industry?
Well, my whole life. I grew up, my mom does this in Montana. She's the number one insurance and financial in the state of Montana. So when I got here in 2015, at some point I decided to go this route. And gosh, I've been in my own office for about 6 years now. It all kind of runs together, but yeah. So for a while, and we've had just a great time and great success doing it.
So you've grown up with it.
I did grow up with
and
it.
that's got to be a huge advantage for you.
It is. I do not disagree.
Yeah. Like, I grew up with a family of teachers and preachers. Nobody was in real estate. I've got a gigantic family and not one person is in real estate.
Wow.
So, but it was kind of fun for me because I didn't know what I didn't know when I started. So you're just a sponge. You're just trying to learn. You're learning from everybody. You're learning from, which is what I preach about to entrepreneurs. Learn from people that are doing it wrong.
Oh, yeah, I love
so
it.
you know what not to do. But pay more attention to those people that are doing it right.
Yep, absolutely.
It's like I tell people, that are struggling with their career, I go, find out what the number one person in your industry is doing or somebody that's really successful and emulate them. Find out what they're doing on social media. What kind of posts are they doing? What kind of activities are they doing? And don't reinvent the wheel. Find out what somebody in your own industry is doing and just do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or something that fits within your comfort zone.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And something you said at the beginning of that that sentence that you were just talking about, I was able to be on a Zoom call in a conference, actually in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, a couple weeks ago. And JT Fox, he will not call himself a billionaire because he's only worth $990 million.
Oh, well then.
But
a long way to go.
We were on a Zoom call with him. There was about 90 of us, and he said that one of the things that he got really good at doing was asking people their failures. And I've never done that before. I'm always like, tell me what you do right. And so it's kind of an odd thing for you and I because we're both such positive people that focus on the good all the time. Yeah. But I started being like, okay, where did you fail at? Tell me about and then what did you learn from it? And learning from other people's mistakes on that instead of. So I like that you just said that because we can learn a lot from those people and what they did wrong and right.
Yeah, and for instance, like when I was growing up, I was around a lot of people that were critical and judgmental of others, and I witnessed that, and I knew I didn't want to be that person. Everybody's different, and you have to listen to, to really understand people. You've got to realize that they're not part of a group, that they're separate, and you really need to understand them. But I think that in our society, it is a critical and judgmental culture that we see a lot of.
Yeah.
And so, I'm a real big fan of giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. I trust everybody until there's a big asterisk there, until they give me a reason not to.
Absolutely.
And then when they do, I believe in second chances. But if it happens again, they're gone. Because it's the people in your life, like there's people have said, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And that's so true. It's if you're around people that'll elevate you.
Right.
And this is going back to my word for the day, passion. And I wanted to bring that word up because you're so passionate. Every time I talk to you, it doesn't matter if you have the largest client in the state or the smallest, you're just as excited about working with them.
I am. I very much am. And I wish I could tell you how to funnel that, but I was eating on the way here. I was hungry.
Where's my food?
I know, right?
You didn't bring me
a little
any.
handful of walnuts and raspberries that I had gotten this morning at the store, threw them in a cup and I was just like so excited about these. Sounds terrible about my walnuts and my raspberries, but I'm like, oh, it's so good. And I just felt, I don't know. I love life. And I think I've been through enough in life and watched enough of people not be excited about things that I just refuse to do anything that I'm not excited about and that I'm not passionate about. I'm like, no, I don't pay it any mind. And I think when you watch people in your life go through health struggles and, we've talked a little bit about that before. You go, okay, let's live this life today. Like, what can we do today that's we can be excited about and love and have fun. And it's just, life is too darn short.
It
man.
really is. It really is. And those of you that are in sales, service, and leadership, which I know most of you are because that's the audience I have for this Deeb podcast, take note of this. You know, I'm going to give you, for instance, anytime I put somebody in a bad light, I won't say their name. It's just not fair to do that. But
Fair enough.
I'm going to tell you. So this is what part of passion is to me. I've been buying the same brand of cars for a long time. Mm-hmm. And this dealership is going through some changes, quality changes. And I was ready to trade in. It's been a couple of years, so I was ready just recently to trade in my SUV. And I said, this is exactly what I want. And the salesman said, well, we don't have any on our lot, but if we get any in, I'll call you. And it just, no enthusiasm, no passion, no anything, but I wanted this brand. Mm-hmm. So, and I didn't, and so I put up with it. And then I just said to him, I said, well, why don't you do this? I said, I'm used to people calling around the country with other dealerships that you have relationships with and finding this car. Yeah. And so about 3 days later, I get an email with 3 of those cars, just a description of them, no pictures, no nothing. Okay. And I emailed him back and I said, do you have pictures of these vehicles? And he goes, yeah, I can get you the websites, but it's on their lot, and I didn't pull the pictures. And I'm like, who does that? Who does that? So now I'm going to put it into, so I just said, I'm not here. He's not paying me to make him a better salesperson.
Right.
I actually did speak to his dealership 10 years ago when they were on fire, and then they changed some things, and it's quite the opposite. But so I go to another dealership that I was recommended, and I told the nice sales lady at the dealership what I'm looking for because they didn't have it. The next day, I didn't ask her to do anything. She just said, let me see what I can do. The next day, she sent me 2 possibilities, pictures, everything, and I saw one. I said, how soon can I have this one? She goes, within 3 days. And I've been bragging about this person forever because, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. And that, to me, is if you're not passionate about what you do, you're not going to have repeat business.
Right.
And part of the reason why I've been one of the top real estate guys in the United States for better half of my 40-some years in the business is because people like to work with me because they know I'm passionate.
Right.
People gravitate to passionate people. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand it. There's so many things that we can do for free. And one is pretend you like your job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's really, really important. So I'm sure there's a lot of people, Lacey, that look up to you and that want to emulate you. Like, do you ever mentor people in your field?
I do. I get asked to speak at, some sales conferences, and I've been on some podcasts, and your radio
Well, now
show,
you're on the number one podcast in the world, soon to be.
soon to be. Hashtag soon to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely mentor people, and younger, older, just. It is something that we were just talking about this in our team meeting yesterday. Yeah. One of the things that I love most about what I do is the ability to give back. Yes, insurance is amazing. Financial services and having a good team around you is fantastic, right? For you as an individual or a business, but being able to give back to people and being able to go like, here's how I found my passion. And I will tell you that, my number one thing that gets me up every morning is I feel like my purpose on earth was to be an encourager, and to bring sunshine. And I love it. I get a kick. This is just my own, maybe this is like weird, I don't know, but I get a kick out of like making the gas station attendant feel really good. And no matter where I'm at, if it's the fancy coffee shop or it's a gas
Everybody
station.
deserves a bright light.
That. Yeah, because you just never know that the butterfly effect, right? Of what's going to change somebody's whole perception.
But how does that make you feel?
Fantastic. Selfishly, it makes me feel great. Yeah.
I'm sure that because of our mindsets and our positivity, we have several things in common. But that's one we do have in common. When I go to the gym in the morning, I make it a point to go up to the towel guy that he's got headphones on and he's collecting towels and he's cleaning the machines. I always make it a point to say, how are you doing? How was your weekend? Yeah. And I don't do it for any other reason than I want to make him feel like he matters.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I guarantee you there's not many people that do that.
Absolutely.
And it makes me feel good. But people need today more than ever. They need to feel like they matter because so many people feel like they're on an island.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people like you and I, we're charged with that. I mean, if you have the ability to make somebody's day, you have the responsibility. And you and I look at that as that's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. But if more people out there would make it their mission, and I've said this in some of my previous podcasts, is I talk to myself in the mirror in the mornings. I know that sounds weird, but I do. Obviously, it works. But I say to myself now more than ever is today, Van, inspire somebody. Make sure that you inspire somebody today. And now it becomes secondhand. If you practice a discipline, telling yourself you're going to inspire somebody today, that discipline becomes a habit. Yep. And before you know it, it becomes natural to you.
Yep.
And I think for people like you and I, and hopefully a ton of our audience, we want to make people's day.
Right.
And look what it does for you. I mean, especially if you're having a bad day, the best way to overcome having a bad day is try to make somebody else's day better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I it's the little things it doesn't cost money oftentimes, right? It doesn't cost a thing other than a quick sentence or two out of your mouth. I sometimes, I'll be out to dinner with friends and I will make it a point to ask the waiter or waitress's name and just, hey, and what's your name? Yeah. And it stops them for a sec because they're like, what? Yeah. And I know other people do that too, but I know for them that means a lot. And then you're calling them their name the whole time. And it's just little things like that mean the world to people, or commenting on maybe someone's not dressed great, but maybe they have a cool watch on or whatever. Who knows, right?
Makes their day.
It makes their day. And it changes the whole trajectory of their day and makes you feel good. It's, selfishly, it makes you feel good too.
No, that's awesome. And people don't realize that even when you're walking past somebody, a lot of people are looking down today at their phones, but even when you pass somebody and you smile at them, believe it or not, that may be the only smile they get all day long. Now, wouldn't that be something if you're smiling at that person or saying hello to a stranger was the only good thing that happened to them all day?
That's so sad, but yes,
it's happening out there. I mean, people,
all the time.
A lot of people feel like they don't matter, and I think people like you and I, we're charged with making sure that happens, and that's part of being passionate. It's not about being passionate about just our own lives, but we got to be passionate about lifting other people up as well.
Yep. No, and I think of the times in my life when obviously I know you've got to have your down days. I know I have mine sometimes.
Of course we do.
Where I'm just like, man, I don't feel like it today, but it's, again, life is so short. And even on those days, it's like, I have to fake it till I make it too. I don't always feel like being happy and positive and all that. Right. But again, like you said, it's a discipline. It's a muscle that you have to develop and you're not going to always feel like it. No. When you're yelling at somebody that like, I am a pretty chill driver most of the time. And it's a discipline and just go, oh, they're probably having a bad day. That's why they cut me off. Like, I don't need to lose my cool. It's fine. But
you don't know what they're going through. I mean, you don't know what that person's going through.
You don't know why the cashier was rude to you. You don't know. Like probably maybe they got a terrible health diagnosis or something earlier that morning. You don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So people want to do business with Downtown Lacey Brown.
I sure hope so.
What's the best way if somebody has insurance or financial needs? What's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Giving us a call or text, but all of our information is at downtownlacybrown.com. If you punch that into any Google search engine, you'll probably pull up some picture of me and my amazing team and all of our contact info. And we would absolutely love to help you out.
And how many people do you know named Downtown Lacey Brown? That should be an easy one to remember.
Yes, I hope not anybody else. I hope I'm a little unique and
Yeah,
original.
you got to be kind of like Van Deeb. Hopefully, there's not two of me out there.
Yeah, get it with Van. That's right.
But I admire you.
Thank you.
Just by the way you conduct your business and the way that you spread light to other people. It's very important.
I try to bring the sunshine every day.
That's one of the first things when I knew you were coming in the studio. I was trying to think of what's one word that would help me describe you, and passion came to me immediately.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, yep. And here's the thing. We all have the ability. We all have the ability to become anything we want. Lacey made a decision. Van made a decision. We wanted to be really, really good at what we do. That's a decision. Nobody made it for us. We could have said, hey, I want to be average. I just want to go through life being okay at what I do for a living. But we chose to make a decision of, what do I have to do to be great? And everybody has that ability. There's nobody that's better than the next person. It's just some people made a decision.
Mindset. Yep, 100% mindset.
To be the person that they know they have the ability to become. So you're going to be seeing more people like Lacey on my show that are passionate about what they do, that care deeply about others, and that want to help people like you build a successful business, or if you're in a leadership role, to become a better leader. But sales and service kind of makes the world go round.
Amen.
And Lacey, thank you for being on the Van Deeb Podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yep. And remember, everybody, Downtown Lacey Brown, Google her, you'll find her. And please subscribe to the Van Deeb Podcast. There's going to be some serious content on here that normally you would pay for to get this kind of information. You're not paying for it. You just get it in your inbox twice a month with these video podcasts. So subscribe today and stay tuned with us, because we're going to have lots of great guests, and hopefully we're going to deliver some content that you can take away immediately and implement in your life. But for now, for Downtown Lacey Brown, I'm Van Deeb. Thank you for listening and watching the Van Deeb Podcast.